One of the most shocking episodes in this whole battle on the freedom of expression in India has been what happened with the artist M.F. Husain.
In 1991, we were doing this series of concerts called Artists Against Communalism, which we carried to different cities. When we went to Bombay, Bombay had just seen a series of riots. We put up this 100 feet long canvas and we asked artists to come and paint on it. The work on that canvas started with the painting of Husain.
I consider each stroke as the death knell of all these ugly forces.
Husain was the most well-known contemporary artist of India.
In the 50s and 60s, he brought in a kind of modernism, indigenous to the Indian way of looking at things.
He was an artist who mined every tradition, the high classical, the vulgar popular, the cinema. He actually even made films himself and had actually started out painting cinema billboards.
But also he was deeply attached to this country. All his work sprang from living in India.
He was the only Indian artist, I would say, who had actually dealt with Hindu iconography. And in fact, being a Muslim, this right-wing Hindu people, they attacked him.
Husain became the perfect target for the Hindu right because of the fact that he was a Muslim and he had painted gods and goddesses, particularly goddesses, in the traditional iconography with bare breasts. He was accused of being blasphemous and making vulgar paintings.
It is ridiculous.
Accusing him, it was really slander of being disrespectful to a Hindu goddess was ridiculous. So ridiculous that the figure itself even doesn't have any sexuality. It's almost like a stick figure.
But what happened is that his exhibitions began to be attacked, physically attacked. His work was destroyed. His own home was attacked. And it became very serious. And for us, this became an issue which lay at the core of Sahmat. After all, Safdar had been killed as a creative person, So we got very involved in making very public demonstrations in support of Husain. There was a big, huge street march from the National Gallery of Modern Art to the Rabindra Bhavan, the Lalit Kala Academy in Delhi. This ended up with court cases being filed against Husain. Now, this was a new tactic that the Hindu right came up with. And he ended up going into exile, leaving the country and going to Dubai, which was a deeply shocking thing for all of us in India.
Now, certain fundamentalist groups come out and say that this is causing enmity, promoting enmity between groups.
We worked with his lawyers, giving them art historical information on the traditions of Indian iconography, on art historical texts. We also held academic symposia talking about these issues in some depth and detail. The papers of which we published, we had never thought that anything like this would ever happen in a country that we regarded, we called the biggest democracy in the world and a haven for free speech.
We continuously kept on marking the fact that such a great poet, such a great painter cannot return to his country, the country that he loves very dearly.
We never thought that Husain would never come back.
And to pick this man, to slander him in this manner, is what I think that Sahmat was really rallying around.
So we decided that we would celebrate Husain publicly on his birthday. So we had a birthday celebration with wedding bands playing his favorite film music. We had food, we had a birthday cake, we had fireworks. We screened Husain's films. But the best part of it was that we got him on webcam, on Skype. And it was both wonderful and very sad that we had to do this via webcam with somebody sitting in London. Here was a man of us, deeply of our culture, who had been an inspiration to much of the younger generation of artists.
Perhaps you require a heart slightly larger than what you have. Perhaps you require even an intelligence greater than what you normally possess to be able to grasp the kind of approach that Husain indicated. And I think in standing by him, one was standing with all such artists.
For his 94th birthday at Jamia Millia University in Delhi, at the gallery which they had newly built, which they had named after M.F. Husain, artists made work which dealt with the issue of his exile and the attacks on him and on this whole question of the iconography. We mounted it as an exhibition of birthday presents, of opened birthday present boxes.
In India, when we vote, that's the mark, with ink, which it stays for almost a week on your finger, that black mark. And I just put my finger that I vote for you.
It's actually a floating structure as well as an architectural structure behind it. It's almost look like it is floating on the river. It was titled Between the Devil and the Sea.
And one of the last, while Husain was still alive, we did another project at Jamia the following year, his 95th birthday, which was the art students in Jamia making work inspired by Husain. And at that same time, I had set up a cutout photo booth against a backdrop of a film hoarding, a film billboard. And the students and any artists, etc., could come and photograph themselves with this cutout. He ended up dying in exile, which was, for us, it is something that we as a nation will never get over.